You listening to the PRO Media Network. PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
On the PRO Media Network.
What's going on, fam? Big ups to the Ring King boxing fans in the building. Another installment of Ring King's Boxing this middle of the week. I'm Big Q chiming in. Ring King's Boxing World for the true fight fan, for the true boxing fan. Ring King's Boxing, 100% real deal, Holyfield. We in the building, man. Big ups to all our family members chiming in. The Ring King Boxing Chat, we in the building. On this installment of the show, we're going to go over the upcoming weekend bout as Devin Haney. That's right. Haney lines up against Yuri Gamboa. We're going to preview that one today on Ring King's Boxing as well. Daniel Jacobs, Gabriel Rosado also scheduled to get off and going on this one. We also have an Adren Broner update. We'll talk about Povetkin also drawing out of the Dylan White and Povetkin rematch. We'll talk about that. We also, on the back end of the show, will get real deal with the conversation dealing with Deontay Wilder. And most people don't address it like that, but that's what makes us different than most of these other boxing shows, man. We ain't going to placate your ass. We're going to give you 100% of that real deal truth. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on today's Ring King Boxing episode. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And welcome to this edition of Ring King's Boxing. Join the Ring King Boxing family today via subscription. Hit that subscribe button. All right, we're going to bring in my co-host on Ring King's Boxing World, Mr. Eddie Too Mean Johnson. What's up, Too Mean?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Doing pretty good, my brother. Everything's copacetic. We operating and doing pretty good. In this matchup, Too Mean, we got some pretty interesting bouts going down this weekend. Of course, Devin Haney is one of our, you and our favorite young lion who's doing a lot of great things in the boxing game. He's lined up for his fight. And, of course, we just seen Tank Davis annihilate Leo Santa Cruz the previous weekend. Devin Haney's on tap to see what he can do this weekend against Yuri Gamboa. So we'll see. We'll start off with that story, and we'll break off until you're not. Haney and Jacobs will be making their highly anticipated returns to the ring on DAZN. Now, two of the biggest names are set to make their respective 22 debuts when Devin Haney defends his WBC lightweight title against Yuri Gamboa on Saturday, November the 7th. And the two-time middleweight champion Daniel Jacobs takes on Gabriel Rosado in a super middleweight action on Saturday, November the 21st. So the bout cards that take place on the Hard Rock Live at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Hollow in Florida on DAZN. Now Haney coming into this one is 24-0 with 15 knockouts. He steps back into the ring for the first time since November of 2019 when he defeated Alfredo Santiago to defend his championship for the first time successfully. Following that fight, Haney went on to a successful right shoulder surgery. Haney had targeted Broner and Russell Jr. for his return, but Gamboa was the one willing to step up to the plate and challenge the 21-year-old rising star. Now, Haney realizes what Gamboa can bring to the table and plans to take all the big names until he's recognized as the best lightweight in the world. Now, Yuri Gamboa is a dangerous and experienced fighter, according to Haney. He said in a press release, he's a former unified world champion. He has been in the ring with some of the best. He hurt Crawford with a big shot, so his power is not to be ignored. He beat Orlando Salido, who beat Vasily Lomachenko. Less than a year ago, he took Gervonta Davis into the 12th round, something no one has ever been able to do. Gamboa is a true warrior, and I'm not taking him lightly. I've called out all the top names, and I finally got someone who would challenge me for my title. I intend on making a statement in this fight. My hunger is on another level. It's time to show the world who's the best fighter in boxing is, and that's me. That's what Haney's saying. Now, of course, in looking at Yuri Gamboa, who's 30 and 3 with 18 knockouts, will be the highest profile opponent of Haney's young career. The Cuban is a former 2004 Olympic gold medalist, a former unified featherweight champion, has taken on some of the premier names in boxing, having faced Crawford, Davis in his last time out. Gamboa lost by a 12th round TKO to Tank Davis in December of last year, but in the early part of the bout, Gamboa suffered that Achilles tear and fought bravely until the very end. Now, after the fight, Gamboa underwent surgery to repair the injury. He is getting his third opportunity to become a two-weight world champion and knows this could be the final time he gets a crack at the goal. He says, I'm extremely grateful to God for allowing this fight to happen, for the miracle of my healing, the healing of my Achilles. I've been dreaming and wishing of fighting for the WBC green belt ever since I was an amateur in Cuba. I'm ready and determined to win this title for my fans and to prove to those who wrote me off as a washed up fighter. I came short against Davis because of my Achilles in the second round, but I fought the rest of the fight on one foot, hurting him in the middle rounds. You're going to see a healthy Gamboa fight with both my legs, fists, and warrior heart of mine. With God's blessing, I will come out victorious November the 7th. Now, that's what the two between those guys is. Of course, Jacobs and Rosado battle is nearly 1 year in the making. Going to Danny Jacobs. Back in December, Jacobs and Rosado was on the same fight card. Jacobs was preparing for the headline against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., while Rosado took on Humberto Gutierrez Ocho on undercard. And there was an agreement in place that if Chavez had been able to face Jacobs due to the issues from a failed drug test in Nevada, then Rosado would get to move up to battle Jacobs. Their respective bouts went on as scheduled, but Jacobs and Rosado got into a heated confrontation during the weigh-ins. The war words has continued, and now the score will be settled with fists. Jacobs is 36 and 3-30 with 30 knockouts. Had a successful 168-pound debut, easily dispatching Chavez when he made the son of Julio Cesar Chavez quit on his stool before the beginning of the sixth. The Miracle Man wants to quiet Rosado as he looks to continue the journey of becoming a two-division title holder. Gabe talked his way into this fight, and now it's time to see what he can back it up, says Jacobs. He got a big mouth, and he's been bringing up my name constantly for over a year. But on November the 27th, the talking stops, and I can't wait to shut him up. My aim is to become a two-weight division world champion in 2020, and that starts with a big win in Florida. After that, I'm ready to step up and fight one of the world champions at 168. Now, Rosado, 25 wins, 12 losses, 1 tie, 14 KOs, and is a two-time middleweight title challenger coming up against Triple G and Peter Quillen on the same December show at Jacobs. Rosado beat Ocho via unanimous decision. The Jacob fight means a lot to Rosado, who looking to make one final run at securing a world title before he hangs up the gloves. To me, now you familiar with let's start with the Devin Haney and Yuri Gamboa fight first. Now that's interesting because Gamboa does have a heart. He's totally healthy in this fight. And we overlooking Yuri Gamboa. I'm saying he's a washed fighter. He's saying he does realize this is definitely his last time for fighting for gold. And Devin Haney has him up front. Haney's most accomplished foe up to date. How did this fight play out in your opinion?
All Devin Haney knows is fighting. He's been at it since he was a little baby and shit. And then with the greats. You know what I'm saying? And giving them advice from all his life since he was a little boy, man. And he's been in the ring with all the top guys that's out there. You know what I'm saying? He's young, he's hungry, very dedicated. They don't even have to tell him to train or make him train hard. That's just something he does naturally. Because, like I said, he grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? And he's young, he's hungry. Gamboa is on his way out. You know what I'm saying? It would have probably he stands no chance, man. I mean, I respect Gamboa, but you know what I'm saying, because he's a fighter, it takes heart to get in that ring, but he ain't gonna have a chance against Devin Haney. Devin Haney's gonna pick him apart. It's gonna be like you're gonna feel sorry for Gamboa. He's gonna get his ass fucked up in that ring, man. That's the bottom line. He gonna get fucked up.
Yeah, and Haney is when he fights, he comes off as a very even keel guy, very chill guy, but not in the ring. When he gets in that ring, boy, he offsets your ass. I mean, he looks to power punch. He literally tries to detonate punches on you. I mean, He punches angrily. He's very accurate and calculating. So, like I said, Devin Haney is a monster. Gamboa saying that he's healthy, but that's good. I'm happy that the man healthy because that means there'd be no excuses when he get his ass knocked out. So I mean, it's interesting, man. But this is probably going to be the door closing on Gamboa. Tough fight against Devin Haney, who's on top of the world right now. And when he dispatched him, and of course the various reports that he's been saying is that he has to beat him worse than anybody's beat him. Now he knows about Crawford fighting Gamboa. He knows about Tank Davis fighting Gamboa. He understands that, and he knows, and he wants to make his mark by dispatching Gamboa in a hard fashion. So he'll get his opportunity this weekend. Devin, Haney, and Gamboa. Now let's move on to the next one, too, man. What about Gabriel Rosado going against Danny Jacobs? How do you see that play for the following weekend?
We'll see. It's like when it comes down to what Danny Jacobs, like when it comes to, like me and you talked about a long time ago. It's like when it comes down to the big fights, it seems like he don't have that you know what I'm saying, that
You're missing something.
that determination to overcome that heart, to get over that, you know what I'm saying, get over that hump, man. You know what I'm saying, to be the top dog. It's like he always come up short when it comes to them bigger names, but them not so big names, and you know what I'm saying, he does pretty good against them, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying, once he step in the ring, we'll see.
I think what's the call on this fight? And of course, we'll revisit this fight because this fight is not until not this weekend, but the 21st when that fight with Daniel Jacobs and Gabriel Rosado face off for the super middleweight in that super middleweight action. But that bout is November the 21st. But calling this one early, how do you think what happens here? I think Danny Jacobs dispatches Rosado. What's your call on that?
Yeah, I want Danny Jacobs to win. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, sometimes he be coming up short, man. So it's hard to have total confidence in him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree with you. It's a personal thing here that he has. He wants to really knock this guy out. But, I mean, you know, I ain't going to call a man a soft competition because these guys are tough and, you know, it can go either way. But Rosado is 25-12. You know, with 14 knockouts. I mean, he's double digit in losing, which means that he has a lot of holes in his game. And Danny Jacobs is a good calculating fighter and smart and tough. But like you said, we've always said Danny Jacobs, when he gets in the championship bouts, he's missing something. Now, I've always said that about Danny Jacobs. He's missing something. He's missing something. And if he had that one thing, he could be one of the baddest men on the planet. So, you know, whether it's killer instinct or it's just something that Danny's missing, man. But anyway, let's move on to the next news item here that we're going to cover. We're going to talk about Adren Broner. That's right, Adren Broner, a bonehead Broner. I ain't going to mess with him. But Adren Broner is to be released from jail. Must comply with the court orders. 4-division champion Adren Broner, the former 4-division champion, will be released from jail later on today, early Thursday, which he was after being incarcerated for Monday for contempt of court. A judge in Cleveland sent Broner to jail for not cooperating in a civil lawsuit. On Wednesday, the judge granted his release after an afternoon hearing, according to a report on Cleveland.com. Now, Broner was sued in connection to the 2008 incident in a Cleveland nightclub where the boxer was alleged to have forcibly kissed a woman. Come on. Broner never retained counsel for the lawsuit, never appeared for any hearings, forcing the judge to issue a default judgment for more than $800,000 in the woman's favor. And at the prior hearing, Broner claimed to have had $13, but the judge erupted after watching a recent Instagram video where the boxer was handing out allegedly $100,000 in cash. Now, Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court Judge Nancy Margaret Russo advised Broner to provide the necessary information regarding his finances, or she would be forced to send him back to jail. This is serious stuff, Russo told Broner. I have the right to hold you in contempt until you answer every single one of these questions. Make life easy on yourself and answer the questions. Stay off Instagram. Think about how much trouble Instagram has caused for you and for what. If you think people are not watching your social media, you're wrong. Broner informed the court that he was scheduled to fight in January. The contest according to Broner, would involve a purse that would satisfy the default judgment. Broner has been out of the ring since 2019 when he lost a 12-round decision to Manny Pacquiao. $800,000 default judgment to a lady simply because he was too irresponsible to show up to court. Man, what you think about Adren Broner, man?
Yeah, he got a lot of learn. He got a lot of learning to do, man. When you're on that level, you know what I'm saying. They got women that target people like him. You know what I'm saying, to get close to him, knowing where he hang out at and everything, just to get him for his money. You know what I'm saying? If he forcibly, you know what I'm saying, well, he Adren Broner, first of all. You know what I'm saying? He don't need to force himself to kiss no motherfucking woman, man. You know what I'm saying? You have some of them to say no, but it have many more saying yeah. So he don't have to do that type of shit. So I think somebody just targeted him just to get money from him, like they do a lot of them fighters. It's like with Mike Tyson, he realized that shit because most of the money he lost was from lawsuits. So anytime you take a picture and a woman try to get in the picture, like, nah, get the fuck back. Because you're going to try to use that to say I did something inappropriate to you, and then I'll be in court, and then next thing I'm giving you $1 million fucking dollars. So he like, back the fuck up off me. And a lot of them dudes out there on that level, they know that, you know what I'm saying? I know they heard stories about people of their status, celebrity status, how they get targeted by women and men too, saying, you know what I'm saying, try to force them to fight them so he can get knocked the fuck out or get their jaw broken, and then next thing you know they in court getting sued. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people target them fighters like that, or you know what I'm saying, even any celebrity, man. You know what I'm saying? They know they get that lawsuit, they can get some big money. So he got to wisen up, man. Realize, you know what I'm saying? He's got to realize what's out here for him if he's slipping.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, too, man. That was great words of wisdom, man. And you're right. If the professional boxer's got to have a brain, man, as well. Just can't be lifting weights. You got to use the brain. The real muscle that counts is the brain. Use your freaking head. Adren Broner been screwing up like this for a while. They gave the woman a default judgment of $800,000 because he didn't show up to court to even much. If he would have probably showed up to court and said that and went against the charge, it probably would have been something really insignificant. But just because he didn't show up, she got a cool 800 G's just because he tried to force a kiss on her. And this was the type of action that continuously makes me frown at Adren Broner for, and he'll talk to stuff and said, I've learned something. Didn't he just say that? Remember we did a story 2-3 shows ago about Adren Broner talking about he's learned his lesson and he don't need to be out there. The next thing you know, here we go again. So it's like, if you listen to Adren Broner is just immature, man. You know, and he's just prone to make dumbass decisions like this. And if you can't not capable of doing it, you need to have somebody around who will tell you the truth and keep it real with you and keep you out of this trouble. You know, ain't nothing going to be good for you and a person like you in a night court. I mean, in court or in a nightclub. Come on, Adren Broner. 800 G's, man. 800 G's. And then he told them only thing he had was $10 on him. They bust his ass with an Instagram video with him handing out $100,000 to strangers in the club. You tell me if this guy got it all, man. This guy is short. He's a couple of cans short of a 6-pack, bro. Bottom line. Let's move on to the next story. Povetkin withdraws from White fight, test positive for C19. Of course, after that big knockout, which is, you look at Tank's knockout of Leo Santa Cruz, which was monumental, astronomical. But if you look at the Povetkin knockout of Dillian Whyte, it's up there too. I mean, he cold turkeyed Dillian Whyte, just put him out flat on he was out on his feet. His eyes rolled back, and it was picture perfect how he KO'd this guy. But anyway, that's the fight. Povetkin draws out because of the C19, and he tested positive. Former heavyweight champion, WBA heavyweight champion Alexander Povetkin has tested positive for C19 and will not be fighting Dillian Whyte in their scheduled rematch on November the 21st at Wembley's Arena in London. Now, Whyte, who's 27-2, 18 knockouts, will need to wait until January for the rematch with the Russian, who's 35-2-1 with 25 knockouts to take place, according to promoter Eddie Hearn. It's disappointing for sure for many fans who were waiting to see if Whyte could avenge the loss to the 41-year-old Povetkin or have his career finished off. A second defeat to Povetkin will likely be game over for the 32-year-old Whyte, although he never admitted that. And on the positive side, the fight's postponement will give Whyte extra time to work on mistakes he made in that previous contest, August the 22nd at the Fight Club in Brentwood, Essex. Now, the interesting thing about this matchup is that Povetkin has studied White's previous contests and observed how vulnerable he is to uppercuts. Me and you talked about that he is suspect to uppercuts. He won't fix that in the little bit of time between now and when they schedule to fight early next year. The guy through his entire career, he's and listen, the earlier versions of Dillian White, he was a little bit more agile. He moved. But then, of course, later on, he put on weight. And, of course, we know he packed weight on, and he doesn't move well. He doesn't move his head at all. He's very stationary, and he's standing there and think that that he can out-club you and he can take more punishment than you. And that's just a dumb way to fight. He has to be able to slip jabs, slip punches, move his head a little bit more. And at this stage, his technique is real sloppy. That's my commentary about Dillian White. Sloppy-ass fighter. And Povetkin, he was beating Povetkin, knocked Povetkin down in the fight, had the fight, and then Povetkin came back with a fierce uppercut that sent, they had to wake up this fucking guy with smelling sauce. So to me, you know the story, man. We covering it. What's your thought process on Povetkin and Dillian White?
Yeah, it's hard to fix habits that have been years in the making. So, you know what I'm saying? I thought he could pull a miracle. You know what I'm saying? Correct that mistake of him getting hit with them uppercuts. He got a chance of revenging that loss. So, like I say, with any fighter, you know what I'm saying, when you start off, they're like, look, I tell them, if I train somebody, I was like, look, pay attention and get these basics down correctly so they can become your habit. And do not create no bad habits, because you know what I'm saying, once you get hurt, you know what I'm saying, you're going to, like, you're a person that like to drop their hands. When your ass get hurt, you're going to drop your hands and get hit. So if you're a person that keep their hands up, when you hurt, you're going to keep your hands up, because that'll be your habit. You know what I'm saying? You got to right habits. If not, them bad habits, you know what I'm saying, can cost you.
It will, and that's bad habits hurt, man, and that's what I'm saying. It's going to be tough. And Dillian White got a lot on the table riding with this fight. Of course, the winner of this fight they might get an opportunity to face off with it's saying that could be a possibility that these guys are fighting, have an opportunity to fight for another title. Who's Dillian White's been chasing Anthony Joshua since he knocked him out with an uppercut as well. So they're trying to get to the point where they can get a title shot. And I don't know, Dillian White, man, got a long way to go here. But let's move on to the next topic. It's Luis Ortiz versus Alexander Flores. That's right, King Kong Ortiz. Luis Ortiz is back on the card. November the 7th is going down on PBC. That's right, King Kong, Luis Ortiz, matching up against Alexander the Great Flores. Previewed this is a showdown. The top heavyweight contender Ortiz, and it'll be on Fox, PBC Fox. The broadcast begins at 8 p.m. and we'll see the rising unbeaten contender Frank the Cuban Flash Sanchez battle Brian Howard in the 10-round bout. But if you look at the fight between Ortiz and Flores' training camp has been going really well. He said, I've always been in shape going around. We've ready and aiming for a November fight. So when this fight is against Ortiz presented itself, we jumped on it. We're ready to take advantage of this opportunity. I got the call about Ortiz over 6 weeks ago. I just had to adjust to southpaw sparring, but everything else is going to work smoothly. It was tough to find sparring during the pandemic, but I'm blessed to find some great quality. And as you know, this will be an interesting fight, man, to say the least, when these two fighters, because it's always good to see King Kong Ortiz in a bout. Now, Ortiz is a great fighter. They say he's one of the most feared men in the boxing division. A lot of people on his level don't want to fight him. He's the only losses coming against Wilder, saying everything about his quality. Whenever you fight at that caliber Ortiz has been at, I know you're going to know what you need to do in training, but the older you get, the harder it gets to recover. It doesn't get easy. Maybe this age will show up in this fight. That's a lot to say, because Ortiz is going to come into the fight ready to fight. And of course, we know about the two previous losses to Deontay Wilder, who had his card. And of course, Alex Flores, you're no Deontay Wilder. So bottom line is, prepared to get a boxing lesson for King Kong Ortiz. What you think about this one? Ortiz versus Flores, to me.
Yeah, it depends on his habits after the loss to Wilder. If he stayed, you know what I'm saying, if he probably took a week or two off and then back to training to keep sharp, you know what I'm saying, he should definitely what I'm saying, outbox him and then eventually knock the guy out. You know what I'm saying? If his age didn't catch up with him. But I don't think his age don't really mean nothing if he's staying active. I think age plays a factor when you're inactive. You know what I'm saying? If you stay active, then you can go for it. But we'll see. Like I said, it depends on his habits that he had, you know what I'm saying, outside the ring. So that's what I think.
Well, I think Ortiz will probably make short work of this guy. I mean, and of course, he's kind of moving up there and he wants the tougher fights. And perhaps we'll see next year in 2021 a fight we really won't see, which is a battle between Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz. That'll be an interesting fight as well. So a lot of positive things in 2020 schedule. I think this is just one of the fights to keep Luis Ortiz busy right now. But I think he'll give Flores a boxing lesson. Okay, moving on to one of our final topics, that's just Deontay Wilder. We have two stories we're going to cover. First, the story that Wilder rejects Floyd Mayweather's offer to be his trainer. Okay, he just, of course, he got rid of and fired Breland, who he then blamed for spiking his water. We're going to cover that. Yet more news has come out regarding Wilder, and the story is not laced with crazy, weird, and bizarre accusations, as been reported by Mail Online. And this is written by 247.com. Who's obviously shielding for boxing. We're going to get into it and we're going to keep it real. We ain't going to shield for no goddamn boxing. I'm going to just keep it real with you. Bottom line, boxing, one of the most corrupt, dirty, stinking, rotten ass sports in the world. So y'all can miss me with that bullshit. I know boxing just like I know football. And the people that's sitting up here making Wilder seem like he's weird and crazy and bizarre for saying stuff that's happening in boxing for over a period of over 50 plus odd years of a mafia dominated thing, and you mean to sit up here and tell me, I'm just gonna get you the story and I'm gonna hit their ass in the face after I finish this one. As some fans may recall, not too long ago, Wilder's crushing defeat at the hands of Tyson Fury in February, the heavyweight legend George Foreman, then Mayweather offered to climb on the board and train Wilder. Both greats believe that they could help him come back and give on Fury, get him some revenge. Wilder has yet officially responded to Foreman's offer, but he has now said thanks, but no thanks to Mayweather. My thing is, every fighter I fought, Floyd has bet against me, Wilder said. It ain't even for me to discuss. Even with Mark Breland, I need a new trainer. Mark ain't on the team no more. Nobody had anything good to say about my trainers before, but all of a sudden, you need him. All this time, all of a sudden now, why? I don't need nobody. I've made it all. I made it all this far. Why do I need to change up anything? Of course, we need to replace Breland. And you're going to see what it is, but nobody has reached out to me. It's publicity. When I see people do stuff, it's for publicity. But to the offer from Floyd, thank you, but no thank you. I don't feel any love from that man. Wilder, who really has been in the news the past few days, this after having remained silent for a long ass time, went on to say it's fake love to me in response to Floyd's offer for help. It's not real, Wilder insisted. As of now, Jay Diaz, who has been there right from the start, is still Wilder's head trainer, which I'm gonna hit you with that one in a minute. Someone who have to be brought in to replace Breland, who recently referred to as disloyal. Still, is anyone's guess who this may be, as anyone's guess is whether or not Wilder will ever actually fight again. Who knows what's going on with Wilder? Seemingly, he's all over the place. But the reality is this, man. You're not a champion no more. You're a former champion. This guy is an undefeated guy and probably one of the most supreme boxers in this era. He's been training other guys. He can train Deontay Wilder. He can help Deontay Wilder with his game. Floyd has never been a person to say something that he ain't gonna do. That's not his makeup. If he says something, he means it. And even if he bet against other fighters on you, that's business. That's not personal. Being that, like you said, you don't know that man. So how could it be personal if you don't know him? You don't know him like that. So he can bet whoever the hell he won't bet on. So, I mean, you shouldn't take it that way. But this is like what I'm saying about fighters and guys that become stars and they get to a point where they get the fans, they get the big head, they get detached from reality. And this is a way that people can handle these guys. They keep them separated isolated from the public and from real people that can keep them grounded and keep them affixed to reality. The way Deontay Wilder, and we're going to go into this next claim, how he's handled all of this stuff pertaining to what happened with him and Tyson Fury. I'm going to categorize all this and I'm going to just keep it real. You need to get rid of, not fire, just Breland. And I don't know if I agree with that move. And he's saying that he was disloyal. But where the fuck was Jay Diaz? Wasn't Jay Diaz watching Tyson Fury get his hands wrapped for that fight? He was witnessing Fury getting his hands wrapped. The same gloves that you said had felt like you got hit in the face with an egg weight. That was Jay fucking Diaz in the locker room, watching him get his gloves wrapped up for the fight, Deontay. But see, people too, they placate to these fucking boxers as opposed to telling them the truth, whether they like it or not. You don't need to placate to these people. Their heads is way up in the fucking clouds too much right now. It's keep it real time. And keep it real time, man. You fought this fucking dude twice. The first time you knew he was dirty. You knew the first fucking time that he was playing games with the gloves, but when you beat him, you didn't say nothing. You didn't come out and you ain't put nothing on him. But after you lose the second time, you wait months before you come with a response. And then when you come out with a silly ass biblical parable. Shit, of course they're gonna ridicule you and come out against you. Now, if you was really smart, you would have came out. Not only you would have saved the religious parable for later, you would have came out with legislation. You would have came out with a fucking lawsuit on the WBC for what they're doing, because he does have precedent for those assholes. Whether it's Leo Santa Cruz, whether it's Johnny, whoever the fucking dude is, the British dude that used to box, or Bob Arum, all these establishment pricks. And they're gonna sit up here and pretend that boxing is the holy grail of every other sport. Boxing is one of the most corrupt, dirty, rotten ass fucking sports that ever been created. They've been mobbed and controlled. They run out of casinos which is controlled by the mob. See, but they ain't keeping it real. They won't tell you that shit. These motherfuckers around here placating to all this nonsense. But we don't placate with you. We gonna tell you the truth about the whole game. Deontay Wilder waited months and came out, and when he comes out, he fired Breland, then hires him back, and then fires again and calls him disloyal and accuses him of spiking his water. But fucking Jay Diaz sitting up there watching Tyson Fury get his gloves fucking wrapped for the second fight. But you don't follow him, you don't fire him and blame him for being disloyal. If he had an egg weight in his gloves or his gloves wasn't on correctly, then Jay Diaz witnessed those gloves going on, Deontay. But see, if you don't have people around you who ain't nothing but a bunch of fucking leeches, they're not going to tell you the truth when you are mixed up in your mind and going off on your own silliness. And so you got all these people coming out against you, and the WBC doing all kind of weird shit. Like, even if they heard allegations, they're supposed to investigate it. But then what was you expecting from boxing organizations like the WBC, the WBO, the IBF, and all these other people? They regulate and govern themselves. There is not no committee that comes in with individual investigation to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're investigating themselves. And you tell me how often an organization that's investigating itself is going to out itself. It doesn't happen that often. The WBC even then created another boxing class for Deontay Wilder to be in, basically calling him not a heavyweight anymore, and that you have to be a certain amount of pounds to be in what they call the new super heavyweights or whatever the bullshit they calling it. So it's an attempt to remove him out of the picture against a dirty fighter. Tyson Fury been dirty. He's had a history of being a dirty fighter. He was denied the rematch with Klitschko because he was dirty. It wasn't cocaine and drug abuse. That's the cover story they used, because the real truth was, and ESPN covered it back when it happened, when they said he tested dirty for a chemical that's attached to cocaine. It didn't say cocaine, but they said cocaine because it sounds better for him to be a drug addict, which he can get sympathy from once he comes off and say he rehabilitated to come back, as opposed to a fucking cheater. Now he paid a farmer to say that he bought dirty beef from this farmer, and the farmer then comes out publicly, outs him because his dirty fucking team didn't pay the farmer that he asked to say that he got dirty beef from. He didn't pay him. They stiffed him, and the guy came out on him. See, this what kind of bullshit that go on. And then they create and they manipulate and they play. Now, if you had something like that occur, you're supposed to investigate a WBC already. But Suleiman is one of the worst and dirty fucking people in the sport of boxing and these other corrupt organizations. There is very little integrity in the boxing game. These boxing commissions are notoriously corrupt. So is these boxing organizations and these athletic commissions. They're notoriously corrupt. So if you hear Aram and the rest of these fucking establishment pricks come out and tell you that boxing, that you can't, that fighters don't put shit in other fighters or pay off trainers to dope their fighters, or that they don't put shit in their weight, or they don't put plaster on their fucking gloves, they're not telling you the truth, because they have boxers in the last 10 years that have been thrown out of boxing for shit like that. So listen to me, man. Don't be a fucking chump. And all you other people out there running around that's interviewing these fighters, stop fucking placating to these people and tell them the truth and keep it real. Let's hear what Wilder have to say about what happened. Here we go.
So, yeah, but can you tell us about how you felt going into that fight?
Man, about 15 minutes before, going out to the fight, warming up on the mitts, man, I was fucking about to put a hole in the mitts. I was, it was perfect. I felt great. I was going in, until I went to the ring. That transformation from the point of leaving my dressing room and going into the ring, drinking certain water and stuff, and trying to keep myself hydrated and stuff like that. Man, I just started feeling weird, and my water was spiking if I took a muscle relaxer or something like that. Which my, after a fight is over with, and it don't go in your favor, you're always looking for what happened, what certain reason, especially how I felt, even when how I felt the referee came in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Certain things, the atmosphere just didn't seem right. It felt like something was about to go down, and then that was going to go in my face. Many people could feel the energy and the atmosphere. So when I got out there, the only thing that I could reach for is like, damn, what's in my suit? Too heavy for me? But I would have never worn it if my suit was such a burden on me that I couldn't fight. Why would I do that?
Right.
This is the heavyweight title fight of the world. Why would I do that to myself? So I was very smart about certain things dealing with it. But it wasn't just the suit, 7 days.
Absolutely.
It wasn't. You know what I'm saying? My water was tampered with, bro. It was like I know what it is to work out and have some heavy you work out in after. You know what I'm saying? Shit, man, I can have sex and still go play ball and dunk and do whatever I got to do.
Right.
But this feeling right here, it was a different feeling. It's like I had no control of my body. My legs was weak and stuff like that. But although my body was weak, my mind was very strong. When do you ever see me go down on the body shot? He pushed me down, I feel. When you ever see me just falling back like that? When you ever not see me being the aggressor?
Right.
I couldn't even keep my hands right. Certain times, but,
Right.
Anybody will look at it and say, oh, the excuse is this, but you ain't no fighter. You ain't never been in no ring. Nor have you ever been in any type of physical altercation of this kind of this extent. You know what I'm saying? So how would you know? How would anyone know? So that's why I don't listen to different talks and all this and this. Even with the throwing in the towel, man.
Right.
That shit. People don't understand. Mark didn't save my life. Because if you knew Deontay Wilder, if people knew me, they'll know that if I'm gonna draw my sword, I'm gonna live by that sword and I'm gonna die by it.
Right.
That's my mentality in the ring, man. I can't help that. God made me who I am. If I draw my sword, I'm willing to die by it as well. I'm gonna live and die by that, period. And I've been telling my people that for 5 years, so that ain't nothing new to me.
Right.
That ain't nothing new to them either. So he knew that. When he did that, he already had orders not to do that. He even had somebody on Fury side to tell him, man, throw the towel in. They got a rematch. That's how he was so eager to do it.
Right.
Because I believe he was part of it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He was part of it. And even more so, I think he got something to do with my water as well, too. This is my beliefs, because he was the only one handling my water. He was the only one. And everybody always talk about sources, but I have strong sources. I have sources that tell me things that have never told me no lies. I'm happy. Everything has changed. So even things that have happened a couple of months or a year later, it came to pass. And that was, there's a lot of shit, but I don't want to expose everything. Nothing ain't really important at this moment in time. I'm just glad that God is good and He's been taking care of me and my family and all is well, man. So I want you to know, I want my fans to know that we was done wrong. Anybody betting on that fight, y'all was just out your money. We was done wrong. They trying to take this black man out of a high position because I'm so influential. I motivate people. I got men that'll run through walls for me.
Deontay Wilder, man. You know, and like I said, with most people that's up there like that, they delusional, man. You know, and I say that to say this, man. So you mean to tell me Breland was supposed to let you die in that motherfucker? That's what you basically just said in this interview, that you had orders that if I draw my sword, nigga, you ain't no real fucking warrior. What you talking about? You a boxer. You get paid to you get paid. You put gloves on and you fight in the ring. It's not war, nigga. You ain't fighting in Afghanistan or something with a gun on your hand. They got rules against that. The man ain't gonna. What the trainer's number one position is protect his fighter. He not gonna let you fucking die in the ring. See, this is the type of bullshit I'm talking about. That they're not gonna tell him. The asshole who's interviewing him is not gonna say, Deontay, hold on. Don't you know what a trainer's job is? Is to protect his fighter. He's not gonna let you die in the ring. And then he knew that. He fired him and then hired him back and then fired him again, and then blamed him for spiking his water and talking about he was the one that was handling the water. But never mind the motherfucker Jay Diaz that was watching Tyson Fury getting his gloves wrapped, who he said felt like he got cracked upside his fucking head with an egg weight. Think about this for a second. That makes absolutely no sense. That's why I'm challenging and saying to myself, listen, you waited months and you fought this dude twice. It's not like you fought him once. You fought him twice. This is second fight. There was a glove gate one when he had fucked up gloves in the first fight. You still fought him. You didn't say not one iota about that. The second time around, you fight him, you lose, and then all of a sudden, now it comes. After months after your brother came out with a tweet and said that he had disloyal people in the camp, and then you don't back him up. You let him twist in the wind. You disappear for months, and all of a sudden you come back with all kind of beautiful words and talking all this shit about your fans and all that. Man, look, listen, bro. Cut that shit out, man. Cut it out. You're a grown ass man. You need to have people around you that's gonna tell you the real truth, not clowns that's gonna sit up there and placate to your ego because you a former world champion. And if you was really the great, they trying to take the black man out. If you knew that, then why don't you get up off your fucking ass and start your own boxing organization? And that's what I'm challenging to all these people out here, because I hear that a lot about tamp with gloves and all this type of stuff and about the establishment, all this kind of nonsense. You ready to die? Listen to the logic here. And I'm gonna let Too Mean come in here. But you mean to tell me that you gonna die in a ring for a motherfucking belt that you don't even own? You die in the ring for that belt, and you die in the ring for that fucking belt. That belt still, the next fighter gonna fight for that belt. That don't belong to you. That's not even your belt. That belongs to that organization. You dying for shit that don't even fucking belong to you. Think about that. But this is the king. He's intelligent. He knows this, that, and the third. People telling him the truth. No, that's the fucking truth, Deontay Wilder. If you feel like that, then come out where your lawyers at, Playboy. Where are your lawyers at? Don't come out with parables and accusations. Come out with the motherfucking lawyers and go head to head with the WBC. Demand investigations. Call your celebrity friends and get at them like that. Or better yet, won't you start your own fucking boxing organization with your own belts? And then you can die for something that you own and not somebody else's own. That's what type of shit I'm trying to share, because far too often you got guys in the ring that's getting their fucking brains beat out. And the thing about it is they're taking way too many punches in the head. They're a little stupid. They're a little punch drunk, and they're not thinking correctly. That's why you got to have somebody that's loyal, that's with you, that's going to tell you the truth. And a lot of times these people, they're not trying to tell the truth. They're just trying to pass a story so they can get views or some bullshit like that. But we can give a rat's ass about the views. As long as we get the truth out there about Deontay Wilder coming out and saying, listen, I ain't calling the man a kook. I know what he talking about is right and exact. But the reality at the end of the day is, what the fuck you gonna do about it? What the fuck you gonna do about it? Are you gonna come out with your own organization and then go at them? Are you gonna do that? Or you just gonna fucking talk like you been talking? You ain't been doing shit but talking. You ain't no motherfucking champion no more. Even Johnny, whatever his face is, told you that in Britain. Stop this bullshit. Come with the lawyers, come with the facts, come with your own organization, or go back and go back and chill with your family, bro. Seriously. Too mean what you got to say.
Yeah, I agree. You gotta get his facts straight, man. Present his facts. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you say, prove what you say beyond a shadow of a doubt. So that way nobody can run from the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? The way he presenting it, people can hide, they can slip, they can do all types of shit to run away from it. But you come with straight facts, there's no way in the world that nobody's gonna be able to deny it. They could deny it in front of a camera and recorder and shit, but when they get home to themselves, this shit's gonna hit them. If somebody spike your water, don't they do urine tests and blood tests after a fight?
All that.
They supposed to, you know what I'm saying? That could be some of the proof that you can present too. And you know what I'm saying? Have your urine and blood tested after the fight to see what substance it was put in your water, man. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's on your team, you know what I'm saying, have to be questioned. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just put all the blame on the black guy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Jay Diaz, to me, Jay Diaz witnessed his gloves, the same gloves that he says that we seen on footage is flopping around. Right. The same gloves that he hid under the robe when he came out. And the same gloves he kept pushing around and smushing around. The same gloves that were smushed in. The same gloves that caused the dent in the side of his head that he said felt like an egg weight. That was witnessed by Jay Diaz, who was a member on his team, the guy from Birmingham. So you gonna fire Breland but leave Jay Diaz there?
Right. And then they sitting at ringside. I know they seen this shit. And I know Kenny Bayless, what's his name? Kenny Bayless, the referee. I know he had to see the fucking the way those gloves look, man.
He felt the gloves.
Right. I'm like, all them motherfuckers is on that shit and they covering up, man. All them dudes, man, they you know what I'm saying, they be careful what they say. They don't want to say the wrong thing to get their ass you know what I'm saying, get them
out of there
by the powers that be in that fucking sport, man. You know what I'm saying? All of them be careful what the hell they say. They need to stop being fucking scared and come out with the truth, man. If you really want to make change and be the leader or the king, you know what I'm saying, don't be running, man. Tell the facts and shit. So that way the next generation won't make, you know what I'm saying, won't have to go through the shit y'all going through, man. That's the bottom fucking line. Stop being afraid, man. Present your facts. You know what I'm saying? Get the motherfuckers in court and sue the piss out of them. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way they gonna fucking listen and change gonna happen. You sue their ass. You start taking their fucking money. Them motherfuckers are really, you know what I'm saying? That's when you'll start seeing some fucking change, man. When they like, okay, these motherfuckers, they'll take our fucking money, so we better straighten up some shit.
Like I said, do your own shit. If you thinking that they rotten and they got a conspiracy that long, start your own shit. You got the money, you got the influence, you the king after all, right? You got the king and you got people that's willing to walk through walls for you, right? That's your own admissions. If that's the case, start your own organizations. Start your own boxing organization so you don't have to worry about dirty, underhanded treatment like that. You know, just like people started their other boxing organizations that's 50 plus years old, you can start your own organization. You can. That's the answer to corruption, man, because they're not going to change. They're all about the money. It's always been about the money. They know it and we know it. And then they pretend to be and run around talking about they're the toughest man in the game. But when it come down to stuff outside the ring, you see how quiet they be? See how quiet he was for months. And he was quiet like a church mouse for months. People was looking for him to find out where he was. And then all of a sudden you won't talk now. You know, why are you talking now, bro? Stop talking, get your lawyers together, get your evidence together and handle them in court and then start your own shit. Be an example. If you won't be the king, like Two Mean said, do some kingly shit. You can't be the king self-imposing, calling yourself the king. That's a title, putting self-titles on you. What the fuck you done besides win a belt that don't even belong to you? That's a king, partner? No, a king is doing kingly shit. That means building something that can stand the test of time and doing something people ain't do before. Start your own shit and then create organizations where you can help the generations behind you so they don't have to go through mess like you going through. That's what a king do. That'll do it for Ring Kings Boxing. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Hit the like button, subscribe. If you want to hear that real talk, we keep it real. We talk about real stuff here. We don't placate to nobody, as you hear. We Ring Kings Boxing. We for the serious and true boxing fan. And we keeps it real. So please feel free to share the show, like the show, and I tell you what, Too Mean, it was another fantastic show, bro. What you think?
Oh yeah, that's
Perfect.
All right. That's going to do it for Ring Kings Boxing. I'd like to thank everybody for joining Ring Kings Boxing today. Hit the like button, subscribe if you aren't a subscriber. Man, listen, man, we keep it real here. That's all I can tell you. I'll see y'all later. We'll be back next Wednesday with more fight news. Thank you. From me and Too Mean, peace, we out.
You're now listening to the Ring Kings Boxing.